Benvenuti nel canale YouTube del Fronte del Dissenso. Oggi abbiamo con noi un rabbino ebraico ortodosso, esponente di spicco di Natural Carta International, che è un movimento ebraico radicalmente antisionista, non solo radicalmente antisionista, ma attivissimo in tutte le mobilitazioni a favore dei diritti del popolo palestinese e che anzi sostiene la necessità di una Palestina indipendente e libera dal fiume al mare. Siccome ci troviamo in un momento, non solo in Italia ma in tutto l'Occidente, in cui le forze filo-sioniste, filo-israeliane cercano di adottare dispositivi legislativi severi contro chiunque contesti il sionismo, equiparando quindi con dispositivi legislativi pericolosissimi antisionismo e antisemitismo, chi meglio di un rabbino ebraico può spiegarci come effettivamente stanno le cose, quali sono effettivamente le differenze profonde tra ebraismo e sionismo e perché il sionismo addirittura, secondo Natural Carta International, non è affatto un movimento ebraico. Quindi salutiamo e diamo il benvenuto al rabbino David Feldman e gli porremo alcune domande. Partiamo subito dalla prima. Let's welcome Rabbi David Feldman, that is coming from United States. We have some question, and we thanks, of course, Rabbi David. First question: why do you think Zionism is a kind of anti-Jewish phenomenon?
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me today. And the question is a very important one. Why I think that Zionism is anti-Jewish, basically. To begin with, we have to understand a difference between Judaism and Zionism, which is very crucially needed today. People need to understand. Judaism is a religion only. All that Judaism stands for is the belief in Almighty God and the practice of His commandments. While Zionism is a purely political movement, has nothing to do with religion, does not it does not help religion in any way, and does not bring religion to the people. Now, Zionism is in total contrast of Judaism. Not only because it is not religious, but it happens to be a true violation of Judaism. And even before any crimes being committed to Palestine, even before any wrongdoings to any human being or to an animal, this philosophy is in total contrast of Judaism. One of the basics of the Jewish belief is a concept of exile, the Jewish exile being a divine decree. Jewish people are in exile for the past 2,000 years. We believe that this is God's will. Jewish people are required to accept God's decree, not fight against it, not end it by any physical means. This very simple concept of Judaism was accepted by all Jews throughout all generations without any exception or disagreement. This was basic Judaism 101. Until the movement of Zionism came about 150 years ago, and this movement was invented not by religious people or Jewish scholars. This was not invented by people who continued traditional Judaism. This was invented by people who turned their back to Judaism, the ones who refused to follow traditional Judaism. And these people, and only these people, came up with a concept which is in total contrast of Judaism. They no longer were willing to accept God's will, and they decided otherwise. They decided to take their matters in their own hands. While according to Judaism, we are waiting for the ultimate redemption, which is going to be a redemption for humanity, which is going to happen by God Himself without any human intervention, without any physical power. This is what Jewish people are waiting for. But these people who no longer believe in God, who no longer trust in God's promise, these people came up with a new approach, which is which is in total contrast to the traditional, to basic Jewish belief. Now, again, this would be a rebellion against God. This would be a violation of Judaism, even before committing any crime to anyone. Therefore, in the very beginning of Zionism, even before anyone realized how criminal this movement is going to be to Palestine, the Jewish leadership opposed it. This was the main Jewish leadership in Europe, which was the main concentration of Jewish people, but it was also the Jewish leadership in the Holy Land in Palestine. They were in total opposition to this movement. But afterwards, while time passed and the world started to realize how criminal this is and how destructive this is to the Palestinian people, to the indigenous people of the land. And mind you, this is not only a catastrophe for Palestine, but a catastrophe for the Jewish people as well. Therefore, there is each and every reason why to oppose all of this. Now, you don't have to be Jewish to understand that killing and stealing, oppressing an entire people is wrong. But we as Jewish people say that these crimes are not only criminal according to international law, these are crimes in Judaism. In the Ten Commandments, it says, thou should not kill and thou should not steal. This is very basic, a violation of very basics of Judaism. Now, they still insist to call themselves the Jewish people, supposedly the continuation of the Jewish history, and they dare to misuse the Jewish religion to justify their crimes. But here is a very ironic hypocrisy. You find a secular movement, the state of Israel, which is officially secular. Benjamin Netanyahu, who doesn't even claim to follow Judaism, doesn't claim to eat kosher or to observe the Sabbath. And they misuse that very same religion they refuse to follow. They misuse it in order to justify crimes which are forbidden in this very same religion. This is true hypocrisy. Therefore, there is each and every reason why each and every person, whether you are Jewish or not, whether you are Palestinian or you aren't, you should oppose this movement of Zionism.
Thanks very much. Rabbi David, you consider themselves Orthodox Jewish, but we know that the settlers in Cisjordania, in Palestine, are called ultra-Orthodox. Okay, what do you think? Do you consider them, the settlers, in some kind of Orthodox Jewish? And which are the difference among you and them?
Okay, very good. When you're talking about these definitions, many people will consider myself also ultra-Orthodox. But here is the irony. We have to understand, Zionism is not Judaism. There is no question. Zionism is not Orthodox Judaism. Zionism has nothing to do with Judaism whatsoever. If people want to adopt a new version of Judaism, if people want to adopt a new approach, they can call it whatever name they want. But you cannot call it Judaism if this is not the continuation of Judaism. This is something new. Now, what's happening here is like this. In its essence, Zionism is not Judaism, happens to be the total contrast of Judaism, as I explained. Now, you would find some people that, okay, let me step back. You can find many non-Jews who are Zionists. And you would find many Jews who are anti-Zionists. Now, basically, Zionism has nothing to do with Judaism. But you would find, and I must admit, you would find Jewish people supporting Zionism. The vast majority of them are non-religious. And by the way, this is a whole different discussion. The reason why the vast majority of Jewish people are supporting Zionism is because of their lack of Judaism, their lack of understanding the Jewish religion, and they simply don't get it how contrary Zionism is to Judaism. But in the same time, you do find some religious people who, in the same time, while they practice Judaism, in the same time they support a movement which is in total contrast of Judaism. For one reason or another, they don't get it how how this doesn't go together. But unfortunately, this is what's happening. Now, when you find people like the settlers, which happens to be that the settlers are those fringe, far extreme element of the Zionist movement of the State of Israel, they are even at the level that the State of Israel does not accept them because they are so radical and so extreme. But in no way does their Zionism have anything to do with the religion they claim to follow. This is a total diametric opposites, but for some reason, some people are so badly confused and they try to put the two together.
Let me put a question to you. According to you, can we consider Jewish someone that is atheist or not believe that good at all?
Not at all. This is a very important point. All the we have to understand the definition of Judaism. The definition of Judaism is a religion, and a religion only. You can be non-Jewish and convert to Judaism. And according to Judaism, if you are Jewish and you no longer believe in the basics of Jewish belief, you are no longer considered part of Judaism. Judaism is not a race. Judaism is a religion. For example, I'm not sure which religion you are affiliated with, but if you would ask any religious person, like for example, a Muslim or a Christian, can you be an atheist Muslim or an atheist Christian? It doesn't make any sense. You cannot be an atheist Jew. If you are Jewish, then you believe in God. Unfortunately, there is massive confusion today, and it's basically this massive Zionist propaganda which has succeeded in attempting to change the definition of Judaism. Something that we should never allow to happen, because this has so many consequences, not only on the Jewish religion, not only on the Jewish people, but on so many other peoples, when these propaganda tools are being used to oppress or to silence so many people.
Thanks very much. Very clear. And now, are there anti-Zionist Jewish community in Israel? How does Netanyahu's government treat anti-Zionist Jewish, if they are? And are they also victim of oppression? Or in reality, is Israel the best democracy in the Middle East, blah, blah, blah?
Okay, you got it very good. First of all, there is a massive anti-Zionist community in the Holy Land in Palestine. People don't know about this. People are not aware because it's the mainstream media that plays this game of pro-Zionism, and they would never show you the other side of the picture and never give you the ability to be able to make your own conclusions in the best way possible. There is a very strong anti-Zionist community in Palestine, in occupied Palestine, as they are in many other parts of the world. The way they are treated is unbelievable. The Israeli government is torturing, harassing, arresting these communities in each and every way. The question you are asking whether Israel is the democracy or the best democracy in the Middle East. If you live in Israel and you support the government, then you are okay. That's fine, no problem. If you live in Israel and you're silent, it's also okay. If you raise a voice and you oppose them, then you are harassed, regardless whether you are Palestinians or Jewish. Now, here is a very important point. People are following this massive propaganda that the state of Israel is the safety and security for the Jewish people. Now, we need to understand that this is utterly wrong. The state of Israel is not here for the Jewish people as a people. They are here for a movement. They are here to preserve this Zionist philosophy and the Zionist movement. Whoever is going to stand in their way, they're going to do everything they can to stop them, regardless whether they are Palestinians or Jewish. Therefore, you would find that this supposed safety for the Jewish people will suddenly oppress or torture, or in some cases assassinate Jewish people, because they are not here for the people, they're here for the political movement. And obviously, certainly, they are not here for the Jewish religion.
Thanks very much. Doid, Rabbi, you are accused by the Zionists of wanting to destroy Israel. Is that true? And what do you think about two people, two states solution? And what do you think is the solution to the conflict in Palestine?
Okay, first of all, whether I want to destroy Israel. Using these languages, destroy, this is a propaganda language to scare the people and to make them nervous. Nobody is here to destroy. I happen to be an opponent to the state of Israel. I disagree with the state of Israel. I believe that this is wrong from the very first day they existed, or from the very first day this philosophy was invented. And I strongly believe that this state of Israel needs to stop. This occupation needs to stop. This in no way means that Jewish people should be killed, God forbid. I'm a Jewish person, and I'm concerned for the well-being of each and every human being on planet Earth, and certainly for my brethren, the Jewish people. But that said, this violation of Judaism, this danger for humanity, the state of Israel, as a political movement, this needs to stop. Now, what the solution is, a two-state solution. No, according to Judaism, a two-state solution is unacceptable for the same reason why today's state of Israel is unacceptable. This is a violation of Judaism. This is a rebellion against God. This has no right to exist according to our religion. But when you are considering what's the best solution for the people, for all peoples involved, and how will we survive, and how will we build a better future for all of us? The answer to this question is very, very simple. Whoever is really familiar with what is going on, this whole notion that Jewish people are in danger, those enemies, the Palestinian people want to kill us, they want to drive us into the sea, therefore we have no choice, and we have to fight back. And this is supposedly an excuse for every violence and for every crime being committed. And this is not only not acceptable, but this is not practical. This is not in favor of anyone. Obviously, not the Palestinian people who don't deserve this war, but it's not in favor of the Jewish people either. If we want to see a better future, it's very, very simple. We need to study history. We need to really know and really understand what is the root cause to all this endless cycle of bloodshed. And once we understand what's really behind all of this, then we can figure out a better future. Now, contrary to Zionist propaganda, the root cause to these problems are not the difference of religions. They claim that it's the difference of religion. Why? Because if it is the difference of religion, then nobody is going to change their religion. Nobody is going to give up on their religion. And then there is no solution. And the only solution is only to continue violence, to continue killing. But all of this is not true. We lived in peace in Palestine. There were already problems before 1948, before the creation of the State of Israel. But going back before the 1920s, before the Zionist movement was strong in Palestine, Jewish people lived in a beautiful peace in Palestine, as in so many other Muslim countries. Jewish people were the small minority of Jews amongst a vast majority of Muslims. And the small Jewish minority was respected and protected by the vast majority of Muslims. This is a fact. This was changed by the movement of Zionism. The movement of Zionism coming in with an agenda of overtaking the power and oppressing the indigenous Palestinian population. That unfortunately destroyed the historic peace. And the continuous crimes to the present day is unfortunately fueling this endless cycle of bloodshed. There is one solution and one solution only: to end this occupation, to end this violence in its entirety, restore all rights to all oppressed Palestinian people, allow the full right of return for all its refugees, and allow the indigenous population to choose the government of their choice. This will work for everyone. We as Jewish people have no problem to having a non-Jewish government in the Holy Land. The holiness of the land will not be affected by having a non-Jewish government. On the contrary, the secular Jewish heretical government today is defiling the holiness of the land. If the indigenous population will choose to have a religious government, that's fine with us, because we strongly believe that under a Muslim religious government in Palestine, our people, the Jewish people, will be way more protected as today in the Zionist state of Israel. And even more, our religion, the Jewish religion, will be way more respected than today in this secular state of Israel.
Rabbi, you know that the Zionist and imperialist propaganda accuse everybody that support the Palestinian people or the Palestinian resistance to be supporter of terrorists. You know, what do you think about the right to resist also with armed struggle for the Palestinian people?
Need to open their minds and understand what's happening. I am not happy with any loss of life. I am concerned for each and every human being involved, for their life, their right to live, and their right to live in peace. When people are so upset, when Zionists, pro-Zionists, claim to be so upset when they see reactions from the Palestinian people, there is one thing we need to take in mind. The question is whether we are truly concerned, we as Jewish people, whether we are truly concerned about the well-being of the Jewish people. And before I say this, I have to preface by saying that while Jewish people, and I encourage Jewish people to be concerned for the safety of the Jewish people, but at the same time, we should all be concerned about the safety of any human being in any part of the world. And especially when it happens, when it's in the case of Palestine, where Palestinian people are oppressed in my name, in the name of the Jewish people, we should certainly be concerned about those people affected supposedly in our name. But coming back to the Jewish people, if Jewish people are concerned for the well-being of Jews, that's the right concern, and I share their concern. But we have to understand that the state of Israel, unfortunately, with the crimes they are committing on behalf of all Jews, they are endangering each and every Jew in the Holy Land and in the world over. When we are seeing reactions happening, these are sad reactions. This is not encouraging to anyone. This is not bringing happiness to anyone. This is sad when we are when we are seeing calamities, we are seeing tragedies. This is painful for everyone. But we must understand where this comes from. If you oppress people enough, then something is going to happen, not because we want it to happen, but unfortunately, this is the natural reaction. We have to rectify, we have to correct all of this in its roots. We have to correct this from the first place. And we have to do everything we can to avoid this endless cycle of violence, which is destroying everyone involved.
Uh, those the main support from Israel came from United States administration. No, Trump is very strong supporting Netanyahu and Zionism. And we know that your movement, Naturei Karta, is involved strongly in the movement to support Palestinian resistance and people. What is your opinion about the Jewish or so-called Jewish lobby, no, rich people that is supporting Trump and Zionism in the United States? Are they so powerful, really?
I really appreciate the way you describe them as so-called Jews, and this is exactly how they should be described. People should remember and understand the difference between Judaism and Zionism, and that the state of Israel, the pro-Zionists, in no way represent traditional Judaism, in no way represents the religion of Judaism, in no way represents world Jewry. But yes, as said, and as everybody knows, there are many people supporting the Zionist movement, many Jewish people. Yes, there is an AIPAC, there is a so-called Jewish Zionist lobby in the United States pushing each and every politician to blindly support the state of Israel. This is not so many people are very uncomfortable with this. This is not the will of masses of Jewish people. But slowly we are seeing a change even in the United States. Nobody was imagining to see so quick a change. I'm from New York. In New York City, we are having a new mayor with a new approach, which is very enlightening. And we hope that this is going to lead a better future change in the United States.
Thanks very much. Let us go to the Bible. In Solomon states, "Then I considered all the oppression that is done under the sun, and behold, the tears and oppress of the oppressed, and they have no comforter." Finally, we read in Isaiah that when the Messiah comes, he will strike down the violent with the rod of his mouth, and with his breath he will slay the wicked. The wolf will live with the lamb, and the leopard will lie down with the kid. Now, do you consider yourselves, because this has the meaning of justice, social equality. Do you consider yourself, in a certain sense, anti-capitalist as well? You are anti-Zionist, anti-imperialist.
This is a very important verse what you just mentioned, and this is basically very fundamental and very important in this whole conversation. This explains how anti-Jewish the movement of Zionism is. When I was talking before about Jewish exile and about the ultimate redemption, this verse you just mentioned from Isaiah is describing what is this future that Jewish people inspired to. We don't inspire to a future where we will have a criminal Netanyahu to fight people and to mass murder them. This is not what Jewish people inspire to. We inspire to a spiritual future, something that we cannot imagine with our eyes in this physical world today. This is about a spiritual future that will happen, that not me and not you can bring this about. This can only be brought about by God Himself. As you said, when the wolf and the lamb will eat together, when nations will no longer lift their sword against another nation, they will not learn war anymore. This is a future which is going to be a complete spiritual change. We say in our prayers of the holidays, and all mankind will form one bond to serve you, God, in peace and harmony. It's about the recognition. We say in the end of every prayer 3 times a day, we hope to see the kingdom of Almighty God revealed throughout the world, and all mankind will recognize and accept His kingdom and serve Him. This is the future that we are inspiring to. Now, when we are seeing this supposed solution to the Jewish problem presented by this secular or heretical movement of Zionism, this is not only a violation of Judaism, but it's an uprooting of very, very deep basics of Judaism. And let me add, one of our scholars in past generations said, the wrong of Zionism is not only that they violated Judaism and brought a redemption for the Jewish people prematurely, but what they did is they transformed the whole concept of what the ultimate redemption is. And this is a true distortion of deep roots, deep concepts in Jewish belief.
We are going to the end of this interview. We thank to you very much. Do you have some message for Italian citizens? Because in our country there was so powerful pro-Palestinian movement, and we are under a strong attack by the government, by the media mainstream, that we are anti-Semitic and so on. And there is some danger for our right to speak, to think also. You know, it will be important if you give us a message of solidarity with the pro-Palestinian movement in Italy.
I came this whole long way to Italy. This is exactly what I'm doing. I'm bringing here, and I encourage each and every person on planet Earth, including Jewish people, including Italians and everyone, to speak up for what is right and to condemn what is wrong. Yes, we are aware that this is this massive Zionist intimidation, accusing everyone who speaks up against them as anti-Semitic. It is the government of Italy which is going in a direction now to adopt the definition, the new definition of anti-Semitism. Whoever condemns Israel is anti-Semitic. I can only try to clarify the issues and help people overcome this propaganda, including politicians in Italy. And I plead with each and every one of you all, please reconsider this new definition of anti-Semitism. Yes, there is traditional anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is a true concept. And every right-minded person should be concerned about anti-Semitism, should be concerned about racism against any people, anytime, in any part of the world. But anti-Zionism in no way is anti-Semitism. If we are seeing crimes being committed, and this is the point I present to every politician or law enforcement agent here in the country. If any Jewish person would commit a crime in Italy, that crime should be stopped, and that person should be accountable for what he was doing. No difference whether it was a Jew or a non-Jew. A crime needs to be stopped. Stopping a crime in a case where the person committing the crime is Jewish is in no way anti-Semitism. But in addition, Judaism and Zionism, as explained before, is not the same. The state of Israel does not represent world Jewry and does not represent the Jewish religion. Masses of Jewish people worldwide disagree with Israel. Now, saying that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism happens to be utterly wrong, and it's not only wrong, it's not only a mistake, it's not only untrue, it is unjust. And why is it unjust? For two reasons. First of all, it is unjust for the Palestinian people, those oppressed people who are so brutally oppressed, and they deserve the voice of the people in the free world, including Italy, to speak up for them. Because if it won't be for the right-minded people in the world, now who is going to stand up for them? But this is not only doing an injustice for the Palestinian people, this is doing an injustice for the Jewish people. Because when you conflate anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism, you conflate Judaism with Zionism. And this is what this new definition of anti-Semitism is doing. You are making a statement. You are saying that all Jews support the state of Israel, and all Jews support the crimes committed to Palestine, which ends up making a sad statement and a dangerous statement that all Jews are accountable to what is taking place. Now, this notion of conflating the two, this is an attempt of anti-Semitism. Whoever conflates anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism is actually contributing to anti-Semitism. They are promoting anti-Semitism. Now, what is happening here is, it's a movement of Zionism. Well, many politicians, many individuals don't get it, and they don't know exactly what they are doing by adopting this new definition of anti-Semitism. But this movement of Zionism that claims to fight anti-Semitism, while they fight anti-Semitism in the way they do it, they encourage anti-Semitism. They say that I am Zionist. They say that I am accountable to what they are doing. This is anti-Semitism. Now, if people want to be righteous, if people want to be honest, they should differentiate between Judaism and Zionism, and they should clarify that anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. And by clarifying this difference, they are dissolving anti-Semitism. And this is really what needs to be done. We need to stand up and we need to clarify that there is no need for a new definition of anti-Semitism, because the old definition was exactly correct. Harassing Jews, attacking Jews because they are Jewish, because they were born Jewish, or because of the religion they follow, this is anti-Semitism. But being upset towards a Jewish person because of a crime he commits or supports, that's not anti-Semitism.
Hey, Rabbi David, thanks very much. I hope that your visit in Italy will encourage us and will strengthen the movement. We consider ourselves friend of you, friend of the revolutionary or anti-Zionist Jewish. Very nice to meet you. Bye.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you. And
we will send to you when we register everything. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Very much. Thanks very much.
Bye.